Hello, my name is Rob. Welcome to PlayStation Access and to another of our top 10 lists. This time, the 10 games you absolutely must play on PlayStation 5 Pro. PS5 Pro is the most powerful PlayStation console yet made, making it possible for developers to enhance their games with incredible features like advanced ray tracing, super sharp image clarity for your 4K TV, and high frame rate gameplay. A year on from the console's release, here are our picks for the games that best showcase PS5 Pro's power. The ones you'd show off to your friends, the ones that have you quietly marveling on your own, the ones that remind you just why you fell in love with this magical gaming business in the first place. Just a quick note that occasionally we'll be referencing variable refresh rate or VRR modes with uncapped frame rates, which require 120Hz compatible displays. Please check the requirements of individual modes and titles are compatible with your setup. So, in no particular order, here we go. Gran Turismo 7 is already the best looking driving game we've ever seen, which is no surprise considering Polyphony's well-earned reputation for authenticity, precision and detail stretching back over 30 years to the days of PS1. On PS5 Pro, Gran Turismo 7's beauty and performance outstrips even that of the supercars it so meticulously recreates. Among the options offered by GT7's PS5 Pro enhancements, you can now turn on ray tracing during races rather than it being limited to action replays, enjoying your own car's reflection appearing on the boot of your rival as you position for an overtake. There's also improved performance in Gran Turismo 7's impressive PSVR 2 mode. The visual clarity and improved frame rate on PS5 Pro offers immersion like you won't believe, especially with the hardware-specific VR positional reprojection option. To the extent I would call this my favourite ever VR experience. The sense of speed, the thrill of feeling as though you're sitting inside your favourite cars, the sunlight picking out detail on the upholstery. It's a game you can almost smell. Even as it approaches its 10th birthday, No Man's Sky continues to floor us with its absolutely massive universe. But while the initial shock of the number of explorable planets has finally started to wear off, the preceding shocks of how much new stuff there is to do on those near-infinite planets and how much more amazing they look on top-tier modern hardware is very much still in full swing. There really is no experience quite like looking into the horizon of a planet you discovered, named and settled on, only to realise you are the only person to see the spot you're standing in, especially with the enhancements on PS5 Pro, which offers a stunning upscaling to 4K 60 frames per second output using PSSR, PlayStation's spectral super resolution. Or, if you have a 120Hz compatible display, there's the option of two balanced modes prioritising either resolution or frame rate. And if you're travelling the galaxy in VR, PS5 Pro offers significant visual enhancements with the recent Voyagers update, meaning PSVR 2 now also takes advantage of PSSR, improving image clarity for ultra high definition and incredible detail. So yes, we said this list wasn't in any order, but I consider Death Stranding 2 on the beach the best looking game to have ever graced any PlayStation. It's also one of the best games Hideo Kojima has ever made, a genre-defying, star-studded masterpiece about the healing process of grief that seamlessly blends traversing deserts with fragile cargo, shooting tar squid kaiju, and getting into martial arts battles with pizza chefs. No, I don't know how Kojima Productions has managed it either, but if you have a PS5 Pro, you absolutely must experience that opening in performance mode, which targets 60 frames per second, but with superb visual clarity and detail. It is genuinely one of the most impressive sights in any video game, and when you've regained your composure, you can play through the rest of the game as well. Ghost of Yōtei is one of the games of the year, a beautiful, gripping story of revenge and healing played out across one of the finest open-world landscapes yet built. Atsu's quest for revenge against the villainous Yōtei 6 includes plenty of raw visual material, playing the shamisen under a tree, staring into the sunset while cherry blossoms drift on the wind, riding your horse through flowing fields for PS5 Pro to spin into gold. The Pro enhancements offer a few different ways to play, prioritizing frame rate or resolution with ray tracing on or off. Though if we agree that ray tracing is a must, and once you've seen the game in action you absolutely will, then the Pro's new balanced mode, offering uncapped frame rate and an astonishing visual quality, is our favourite way to play an extraordinary game. Please note, this mode requires a display that supports a refresh rate of 120 Hz. There are two ways to look at The Last of Us Complete. For those of us who have been with Naughty Dog on this journey since the beginning, this is the final form of a series and a story we've shared our lives with for over a decade. The finest way to play and replay two of PlayStation's most essential games. And for those who are coming to this fresh, who are new to Ellie and Joel and clickers and heartbreak, what a thing you have in front of you. Quite simply, one of the best experiences gaming has to offer. And Naughty Dog's uncompromising technical ambition and expertise makes that experience a true showcase for PS5 Pro. Both the games here, The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, have a new rendering option, Pro Mode, that bridges the gap between the previous fidelity and performance options. Both render at 1440p, upscaled through PSSR to 4K, and target 60 frames per second as long as you have a compatible display. In other words, making sure that one of the most compellingly told, artfully presented adventures on PlayStation looks better than ever. Resident Evil 4 is the kind of classic that has endured spectacularly. Everyone was amazed at how brilliant the original was in 2005, and then everyone said the same thing about the remake when it arrived in 2023, which makes sense because it's the same Spanish setting, plaga shooting, action hero quipping masterpiece, only now it has intuitive controls and hair that bounces as you run away from lunatics with chainsaws. Hair that, we should add, looks particularly fantastic with the hair strand option, a real thing, which probably more importantly, you can run with ray tracing and the resolution mode offering native 2160p output while still targeting 60 frames per second on compatible displays. This is the ultimate way to play Resident Evil 4. The gunplay feels smoother, the scenery looks prettier, and kicking a villager in the face is more satisfying than ever. It's okay, they're infected with a zombifying parasite, honest. In one of those rare moments of the universe lining things up perfectly, 2025 seemed to be the year everyone decided they would really like to have another brilliant Battlefield game, please, and EA and DICE decided to make one. We'd call Battlefield 6 a raucous return to form, but really it's just doing what Battlefield has always done superbly: epic multiplayer battles built on a foundation of strategic, class-based gameplay and cutting-edge technical performance, backed up by a gripping single-player campaign. And it's no surprise that DICE has leveraged the power of PS5 Pro to squeeze the most out of an already impressive game. The balanced mode targets 60 frames per second, with PSSR upscaling to 4K, making Battlefield's trademark destruction more beautiful than ever. Remedy Entertainment have quietly become masters of combining cult appeal creativity with blockbusting gameplay, and Alan Wake 2, the ambitious sequel to their Lynchian mystery thriller, is the perfect example. This time the besieged novelist is dragged even further into a reality-twisting nightmare, along with newcomer Saga Anderson, via an otherworldly talk show hosted by a supernatural entity that occasionally breaks out into musical numbers, which might sound intense for us mere mortals, but it's just another Tuesday for the flashlight-toting, shadow-shooting author. What is intense is playing through the game in PS5 Pro's quality mode, which enables ray tracing not possible on the base PS5. Even better, if you have a 120Hz compatible display, there's balanced graphics mode, which boosts that frame rate to a 40 frames per second target without sacrificing ray tracing, all of which looks fantastic even when you're sprinting away from a deer-faced axe murderer. If I asked you what weapon would you choose to fight a collection of big metal creatures, chances are you wouldn't pick a bow and arrow and a big stick. but that's the strategy Aloy doubles down on in beautiful post-Civilization sequel Horizon Forbidden West. Make no mistake though, this is a superior Aloy with greater combat abilities, a larger arsenal, and a stronger sense of purpose than before. That same expansion can be seen throughout the world as well, with the ruined landmarks of San Francisco and Las Vegas standing taller while also sinking deeper than anything that Guerrilla has managed before. Speaking of Las Vegas, take our advice and complete the Night of Lights quest as soon as you can. Make sure you're running the Performance Pro mode, which targets 60 frames per second with a substantial boost to image clarity and detail, and get ready for a stunning drone display that will stick with you until you're eaten by the Pharaoh Plague. Our final pick for this list of the top 10 PS5 Pro games seemed like a tough one until Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 turned up. The team at Warhorse have leveraged PS5 Pro to deliver a true best of both worlds optimization for this Middle Ages sequel. All the game's visual enhancements from the regular fidelity mode are engaged while targeting 60 frames per second at an upscaled 4K resolution. That's on top of the improvements to the game itself, with its improved realism, scale, writing, set pieces, and, well, everything. What remains the same is that you'll be following Henry of Skalitz's ascension from poor blacksmith to man-at-arms to, well, whatever you choose. Will you be a virtuous and loyal foot soldier, or will you be a villainous rapscallion, lying and cheating with reckless abandon? There are only two certainties in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Anything you do will be hard, and all the time not gallivanting around Bohemia questing will be spent playing Farkle. And that was our list of the top 10 games that show off the majesty of PS5 Pro. All technical specs, graphics options and performance targets are correct at the time of recording, but please remember that all these games are subject to further possible updates. Please also remember that these are our picks, so if you think another game does it better than any of our selections, then let people know in the comments what we're missing. Don't forget to subscribe to PlayStation Access and hit the notification bell if you want to see more top 10s, informative roundups, or even some video game adjacent silliness. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
PlayStation